Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, free enterprise viewers, and welcome to today's restream of the Baron's Heroes journey. Today, our featured races are Tybalt and Side Marshal. On the restream side today, we have Xenocat handling the restream, Fiery Blizzard pushing the buttons, and I'm joined on the comms booth today by Alchemy, the club captain. Alchemy, tell us what you've got in store for us today.
Today is something that it's reminiscent of the Adamant Cup flexes because Palom is very like boisterous and he tends to bite more than he can chew. It's 4 characters only. It's also CBI, but thing is, it's not what is it like no dupes. So there's that.
Well, I'm sure our young black mage can bluff his way through anything that we've got in store for us today.
Yep, there is a Kit 3 dwarf which has some rulings which should boost his power for the early game. Also, very important, Cecil is restricted because I've had enough of Cecil beats every seed from last season. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, that can certainly happen when Cecil gets involved. So we've got quite the little journey for our young black mage today in store, it would seem.
Switches are cheap pro and shops are standard, and aside from that, it's fairly standard. It came in 7, but it's not K-Moon because I like to try and keep things under 2 hours. For the most part.
That's always a nice thing to have. I'm always a fan of the not excessively long flight sets. I'm always glad to hear that people are taking that into consideration when coming up with these flight sets. But in just a moment, we will be underway here.
They were talking like in the restaurant about how they really wanted some curse rings, and then the seat hash is like 3 rings. So hopefully that's a good sign.
Well, there's Tella. So if we get the cursor, we've got our anchor right there. Magna Key is the starting key item.
Very nice.
So that gives us immediate underground access. That might have some interesting routing implications for what our runners are choosing to do here right now.
Yeah, especially in T Pro, it's like underground has some pretty good gear for the most part. So we will see if any of our feature racers decide to go underground right away to do something.
Yeah, the thing is with that is that 2 of our 5 objectives are immediately available and on the overworld. So we may see after a little bit of preparation someone just electing to stay up here and chasing those right away. Side Marshal is heading to Watery Passage, presumably to check characters and a little bit of loot. Tybalt, on the other hand, is immediately heading to Mysidia to pick up 2 free characters. We see Rydia as one of those, and we see another Rydia as the other character. Side Marshal, in the meantime, finds Kane in Watery Pass.
Well, Dwarf Axe is not the best thing to start with, but it is a weapon, I suppose.
I mean, with the Dwarf Axe in hand, that's tremendously useful if you're picking up a cane very early to apply backroom glitches.
It's honestly really nice to have if you decide to take that cane and keep that cane. But there are like 2 ways to approach this flex set, which is like lean on the whole Palom thing and try to keep a heavy mage party going, and the other one is like get some circers and use have Palom kiss the floor. So we'll see which one of our feature racers decides to do.
Yeah, so Tybalt has visited Mount Ordeals here and finds Rosa as the free character and dismisses one of the 2 Rydias to take the Rosa instead. So that, depending on what other characters turn up here, we may find Tybalt electing to go for mostly mage party here. It'll be very interesting to see if Tybalt decides to take this cane or not.
This flag set was made, this is mostly a Season 1 flag set, and it was designed before the Adamant Cup. But I think that we as a community, after the Adamant Cup, we have become less afraid of having 4 party members, you know?
And Tybalt elects to dismiss the other Rydia and take Kane instead, giving us a current party composition of Palom, Tella, Rosa, and Kane, which is a perfectly viable party composition for taking into the late game, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, you can always put Tella, right? If someone else turns up that you prefer. So it's not the worst thing to have Tella on because he has access to Blink and especially exit for this early game, so he can clear checks real fast and teleport out, especially for looting and stuff.
And we do have Ordeals as an objective, of course, so keeping Teller around for the long term might not be that bad of a strategy because his utility increases tremendously once that Ordeals check is done. And Side Marshal went up Mount Hobbs to find Edward staring at the Mega Sisters and decides to just reset out of that, having none of that.
Yeah, fair, honestly. Like, Edward's fine, but we haven't found the spoon. If we did find the spoon early on, maybe you will decide on picking up that Edward because he seems some real good work that spoon. But until then, no thanks.
I mean, Edward does have his uses. He can take on an evil wall by himself on certain circumstances. He can take on Odin by himself in some circumstances, but for the most part, he's not especially useful.
Yeah, like, he's there, you know? Like, I mean, talking about Odin.
Yeah, so speaking of Odin.
This should be fine, this stuff isn't too bad. Like, if you find a spot you need Edward in, I guess you can always come back and pick him up. But I wouldn't say that it's pretty necessary in this scenario, especially with C Biome. It's kind of dangerous, it's meant to party member or kid or of all people.
Yeah. Tybalt, having done some early character checks, is now on his way underground, it appears. Or at the very least, he's opening up the underground access, but is probably going to head underground right away here.
Ice Marshal's reward for clearing the Antlion nest is an Ice Brand. That's not great. But you know what? That Antlion gave Palom Ice 2, and Ice 2 is wonderful because it will help Palom clear the rest of the overworld bosses real easily.
Oh yeah.
So with telling your party you can exit, so it's not something you will reset out of. Ooh, Tybalt finding both 2 things: 1, a good knife, excellent, and 2, sirens. I'm a dwarf.
That's always a good find, especially this early on in the scene. It'll really define what you want to do for grinding later on, if that's what you choose to do.
With that dwarf kit, it's a lot of cash. Those rune rings sell for quite a bit. We see Tybalt immediately buying some sirens for later. Like, as soon as you get a good party going, you can do like a quick grind, and that will like enable your party to clear a lot of underground checks.
Side Marshal, interestingly enough, decided to check the waterfall boss and found the D-lures there and reset out of that. I'm not sure why Side Marshal would be doing that because there are no boss hunts this seed.
There is. It's Demon's Hunt.
Right.
There are no freaky items.
I don't play with the Demon's Hunt on often enough to remember in some flag sets that actually is a thing. But anyway, Side Marshal is also heading underground now. Tybalt is now looting in Tomra. We get the Dogdorf check. We do. Dogdorf is a travel agent today.
That's nice.
I have to wonder now what the dwarves would be saying about for a tourism campaign for Tomra.
Yeah, huh? Come to Tomra, we have lava. Do you like lava? Are you looking good on lava?
Pay visit to our treasury. We're giving things away to the first 6 tourists that show up here.
Please come, we're desperate.
Alright, Tybalt is now heading down into the Feymarch Cave. Heads back out to save. That suggests we're going to see Tybalt checking the chests, and we'll reset if we find the warrior's chest on the way down.
I did notice that in Tomra's item shop was Leviathan Orb.
Yeah.
That's real nice. We did kick both Rydias out of the party, so I don't think there is more Rydias. Maybe we get surprised.
No,
but that's the Leviathan Orb.
Yeah, that is interesting because Side Marshal hasn't seen those Rydias yet and is heading underground right now. So possibly Side Marshal will see the Leviathan orb before he sees the Rydias, and that might factor into a character decision later on.
I wonder because you already have a black mage, and it's basically current. It's forced black mage. So do you really need another one? Also, really important. I believe that G spells is on. Let me check.
Yes, J spells are on.
J spells are on because it's Palom's time to shine. So J spells are on. So I don't think you want that really.
Well, it depending on what approach you're liking to take to this seed, I can see, say, Palom, Rydia, Rosa for your white mage, or Porum if Porum shows up, of course, and possibly Kane to take along as Val insurance, and that would be a perfectly viable party to take through the rest of the seed. But that might be fairly niche. We do have the grind setup necessary to pull that off if we need to, but that might not be the approach that people are looking to take here. Yeah. So Tybalt is now in Feymarch Town. We're going to be seeing what the freebie item from here is in just a moment.
I feel like Tybalt is doing a lot to get out of cash from most Americans.
Yeah, that's the Sand Ruby.
That will be one of our 3 locked characters.
There's Black Line for available in the Feymarch.
I don't know. This is looking like Find Edge and Settle and go to town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's certainly a possibility.
We
Sand Ruby
have Dwarf and Dwarf Castle, and also we just found the Sand Ruby. I wonder if it's Cecil or Edge napping. That's even if that's water hack there, that's still not great.
Well, yeah, the guards there would be relatively free given the rate, like given a Tella who's through Ordeals, or given some coffins or something like that.
If you get some wisdom gear on Tella and stick him in the center slot of the party, he can use Cast Stone and eliminate those 2 guards.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Water Hag just punches you. Sure, you only need to hit him 3 times, but you have 4 characters. And he will just keep punching. By the time you get to the 3rd hit, there might not be anyone standing to deliver it.
No, I mean, if you're anchored properly for that fight, you can still get enough hits in before Water Hag kills your entire party, I think. Tybalt appears to be setting up now for a grind using those sirens. That would suggest that this is the pretty big he intends to keep throughout the rest of the seed.
I like the heroine roleplay on Tybalt's side.
Yeah, it's certainly a way to use Rosa here for that purpose.
One HP on everyone. I mean, I guess he has 10. Oh boy, is he gonna use stop with Tella?
Well, okay, yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that makes sense. This is kind of touch and go. If you mess up with the stalks, the dragon will hatch and then use thunder in your party, and that's it. You just bye to waste your time. So
Little burns of stardust on the egg.
Interesting. Oh boy, I'm so anxious about this. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that, with the first egg out of the way, the rest of these should go significantly smoother. Side Marshal has elected to go down into the Stealth Cave and set up the Sheila 1 check. I may be intending to follow up on that immediately, judging from that flight path.
Yeah, Side Marshal doing the Sheila 1 check is interesting because I don't think he has Stone Fool yet. So it's gonna be nice. I see the routing. Check Kai.
Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, Side Marshal is going to check to see who the Sand Ruby character is here, and it is Young.
Oof, not who you want to see.
Yeah, we want to see one of the properly restricted characters here.
It seems that Thibault's play of casting stop seems to be working out pretty well for the most part. Like getting Palom to virus, the Rosa to blink. It's there's the Quake.
Never mind virus. That's Quake right there, and that appears to be what Tybalt is going for.
He may be wanting to go ahead and try to do the Dwarf Castle check to get another character before he grinds more. We'll see.
Yeah. Side Marshal launching the hovercraft here. I also missed who the character was that we just saw.
It was a jank, another jank, so no thanks.
You're taking a Yang whether you like it or not.
You take this jank, you will like it. In C Hero, the character that goes up into the Ordeals changing room, like a Restream Machine Cat likes to say, needs to face it alone. But Palom is real strong, he has the spells to pay the bills, and I doubt he will have any issues.
Yeah. And yet, Side Marshal is not electing to continue Ordeals at this point either.
Oh, it was just a character check. Huh, interesting.
Very interesting.
I wonder what he's looking for.
Okay, Tybalt checking Miss K finds these D-Liners as well.
I guess, like, another King? I don't know. I wonder if Side Marshal is gonna keep the Iridia like we discussed.
Now, has Side Marshal actually been to Tomer at this point? I don't think so.
Yeah, actually, you're right. He hasn't been. Dang. I don't think so with this party. He's thinking Tella. Tella, is Tella useful? No. J-Spell, Spy. Is this palette better? Do you like Blue Hair Iridia better? Yes, Blue Hair Iridia. We keep Blue Iridia. The other Iridia get out of here, but Blue Iridia get into the team.
Okay, so that's Side Marshal with a party of predominantly mages and Kane at this point. Granted, Tybalt also has the same party composition, just with Tella instead of Iridia.
Our Tracker Fire Blizzard is saying that Side Marshal did go to Tonra. I guess we'll see if he eventually picks up that Leviathan Orb. That's gonna put in good work if he does.
Well, while Side Marshal sets up for another grind, Tybalt is also finding that Odin in Atlion right now, which is not going to turn up anything interesting. So, while we cover some familiar territory here, I do want to take a moment again to show our featured racers, Tybalt and Side Marshal, our restreamer Xenocat, our tracker Fiery Blizzard, and of course Alchemy in the comments with me today.
Thank you, and shout outs to my co-commentator Esgrant, helping me out with these wonderful flex set. Oh, I don't know, with those three restricted characters, Cecil, Edge, and Fusoya, that Dwarf Castle check is so tempting, honestly. I personally will try to get there as soon as possible.
Yeah, like I have a habit of, if I'm looking for a better party than what I have at the time I get underground, I will very often take the Dwarf Castle check as one of my first checks, just for the character check. I'm of course more inclined to do that when the warp glitch is on, which is not here, just because having 2 key items in a character check for 2 bosses is much better than 1 key item in a character check for 2 bosses. But I will still sometimes do that.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like Tybalt is finally going to Fabul. How funny would it be if this was like Darkness Crystal straight away or something like that?
We'll find out in a few moments for sure.
I think even package will be welcome here, because it's both a boss check for Demas and also a character check for that Fusoya or Cecil.
And that's Kelbrina Dolls as the boss here. We've got, we still have, there's the other Stardust coming out. That's not exactly a surprise.
I like the choice here of Tybalt. Like, sure, I could parry cast Quake, or I could use a Stardust. That's faster. You know, everything
Yeah.
counts. Oh dear, that's a hatch. Oh dear.
Tibble gets a
Ooh,
pass from
that's
the football
nice because I think everyone will be doing Fabol at this point. And
Oh no, poor Rosa.
oof.
And
That's
that is a vanilla
Vanilla
pan.
Pan! Wow, I'm tipping my tiara once again. There it is, vanilla. Ah, dang, Rosa didn't get the XP. Oof, that's rough on side martial side.
Yeah.
At the
It,
very least, Palom got up to Virus, and that's real good.
yeah. Well, we're going to see a couple more eggs here, so Rosa missing out on that first fight isn't going to be a huge detriment to her.
Yeah, that's true. Like eventually, the EXP will like equalize a fair amount.
Anyway, Tybalt is back at Ordeals, having already done the character check a while ago, which is where Rosa came from. We are probably going to see Tybalt head straight for the top this time. So this will be our first swing and objective this seed.
Yep. I mean, you have to do this whether you want to or not because
Yeah.
it is 5 out of 5. So I do like the play of coming here later when your Palom is really strong, so you can easily tackle. Oh boy.
There is Val. Fortunately,
thing.
we have Kane on hand. So
This is fine. Yeah, this is not too bad, especially with the levels that Tibble got. Oh, our restreamer Stinocat saying that Valve has no magic defense here. I always forget which spots have magic defense and which don't. Usually it's like later game it has perfect magic defense and early game it doesn't. But like it's hard to remember.
Yeah. Well, finding Val this early might have some significance for party composition. I mean, we've seen both runners pop at least a few sirens at this point, but Val is the major obstacle to taking a complete mage party most of the time. There's Dark Elf in the Ordeals 2 spot. Should not be much of a threat here. Especially not with Tella on hand to stop the second phase, or weak the second phase even.
Rosa went down because she had 7 HP. This is scary a little bit. Oh, never mind. I bonk you for 1000 HP. That Goknir strength ring came putting in good work.
And of course you can just, when you have Quake here, these bosses just die immediately no matter who they are.
Yup. It seems that Scythe Marshal is pushing the grind a little hard. I wonder if he's just going to do a wait. Yeah, he has. Is he doing like 30 sirens in a dream?
That certainly looks like what we're seeing here.
I mean, I'm surprised that he kept the cane then. Like, instead of going pure, I guess we haven't seen a Param actually.
Yeah, we do have Rosa for White Mage needs here.
Yeah. So this should be fine.
Yeah, the reason that I would be keeping a Kane here is if I thought I was going to be searching for a very long time for Val to turn up, among other bosses. But, of course, Tybalt's already seen Val in the Ordeals 1 spot, so this probably isn't a good long-term play on Scythe Marshal's side, but he doesn't know that.
But, like, you know, maybe it's not like a good long-term play, but it is a play. Like, while the other, what I mean by that non-statement is that while other people may be looking, like I mentioned earlier, maybe looking for those restricted characters, like where's the Setzel, where's the Edge, at Fusoya, so much just says, you know what, this party is good. This party is just fine, and I'm just gonna get the levels and just blow the seat open like best I can. And that's honestly like while the other racers are doing checks with lower level parties, he's like blowing them away and doing them way faster.
So Tybalt has found CPU in the mirror room, accompanied by the Earth Crystal. Is for some reason is electing to bluff Palom up. This is probably our meta objective play right here.
Yep.
We're going to see something like 6 bluffs, which will get Palom up to maximum wisdom, and then we'll cast Quake to demolish CPU.
Oh, I can't wait to see the numbers on this thing. It's gonna be
hilarious. I think that's
the
5
content
bluffs.
I wanted.
No, that's clearly 6 bluffs.
Here we go. Let's see. Let's see these numbers. Oh, nice. Nice.
I love it.
6K. Beautiful. Scythe Marshal finding Ruby Cante, which is no issue with those levels. They say hi to Ruby Cante, you cast a virus, you flag him with King, you're good.
There's our Porum in Baron Inn, and there's the vanilla Baron Key.
Wow, another one, huh?
2-for-1 objective special here.
Scythe Marshal is not surprisingly not interested in Porum after that big grind.
Alright, I think we're going to see Side Marshal immediately head into Baron Castle here, having just put Baron Inn on the objective board. Following up with Baron Castle itself makes the logical next play here. Side Marshal does poke his nose into the Baron Weapon and Armor shops here.
That is a heroine robe in the armor shop, and also
yes,
there is a full moon in the weapon shop, which is real nice wherever that edge is hiding.
It could well be that Edge will turn up in Baron Castle, but we shall
Could
see.
be.
Of course, Tybalt with the Earth Crystal in hand is now in Troya, checking the shops before heading over and presumably checking the treasury and or Zot itself.
Those silk webs will come very much in handy.
Oh yeah.
You love to see it.
It's a good find.
Also, both characters in the Tower of Zot are restricted, so the chances of finding those restricted characters is higher than ever. Oh my god, Tybalt almost had the displeasure of having that Troya lady block the exit.
Yeah.
This close. Oh my goodness. Are we gonna play our favorite game?
Yeah, it's time to play all of our viewers' favorite game here.
Let's see what the treasury! 16 throws, so coffee, dragon.
Perfection would be nice if we didn't already have 2 of them.
Lunar ninja hat is very nice. 2 Murasame long edge. And 2 coffins,
Edge out of
and
10.
2 lunar staves.
Coffins
Honestly,
out of 10.
it was pretty decent.
Yeah,
Pretty decent.
Yeah, I'll point out with those coffins in hand, the guards in the Famous Queen spot are now free.
Yep, absolutely. Especially because it gave you 2 coffins for those 2 guards.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the seat did it on purpose or something. I swear. Ooh, immediately finding the flame duck chest. That's wonderful luck.
That is, it's good to find this chest early, either just middle of spot or
Charmed?
Because charmed. Thank you, Charm Arrows.
You know, you charm the dog, you pet the dog. It may burn your hand, but you pet the charm dog.
Please exercise caution when petting the flame dog. That's a cat claw, probably not what we wanted to find.
Yeah, cat claw is really good, but not for our party.
Great. Side Marshal through Mom Bomb in the Bygone spot, finds Leviathan on the throne.
That's very non-threatening.
Yes,
Honestly, Leviathan in general is pretty non-threatening in most spots. Like the spot needs to have some pretty bonkers magic attack for it to be remotely threatening.
And there aren't very many spots that call it. Like, you wouldn't want to run into Leviathan at Evil Wall, for example. But for the most part, the high magic spots are few and far between.
And even if you land in a high magic spot, Ice Tooths aren't that scary.
Yeah.
Like, being honest. Oh, It's dark. I don't think the physical attack here is that high, is it?
It's not.
Yeah,
Like,
she'll be
I was going to
fine.
say we were going to say like 100, 200, and that's exactly what we saw.
Oh, well,
Palom might fall over here. We don't care
but that's
about
okay. Yeah, he gets the XP anyways because it's the hero. So who's waiting in Baron Castle?
that. Hello, Phil.
Ooh, bye, Rydia, I bet.
I'm not so sure. And Side Marshall's thinking
Okay.
about this too. If we get rid of anyone, I mean, knowing what we know, we would probably get rid of Kane. But instead, Side Marshall is likely to get rid of Rydia here.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Because Rydia in J spells needs so much EXP to get caught up to speed with the other characters that I totally understand why. Oh, wow, those two statues are pretty choice. Wow, damn. Jeez. Wow.
Okay, speaking of character checks, that Tybalt is now upstairs in Zot. We find that Dr. Loge is going to be the second boss in Dwarf Castle. Sid is the first of the two characters in Zot, which is, again, not what we wanted to see because this is a restricted character spot. We want to find one of our actually restricted characters here.
And who's waiting behind the door?
Listen, here's another Sid.
Wow, the Sid twins are here. The Polendina twins.
The Tower of Sid.
Honestly, free characters are hilarious because you get nonsense like this.
I think the only time I've ever been more disappointed with the Zot character selection was the time that I turned up to Edwards.
Yeah.
Alright, not having taken the Sids for mostly obvious reasons, who is our boss at the top of Zot today, and what is the key item we're going to get out of this? Dark Imps.
Not a big issue at all.
Yeah, like, we've got a lot of means that we could just instantly kill these. It's probably not necessary to make that happen. These are going to have relatively low health here, but still. Yeah, once that Quakes come out, this fight is probably over, or effectively over.
This seed, honestly, I've noticed, like, we got two seeds together, we get two Rydias together, and even the Jiangs were very, very, very close together.
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
Very twin-powered seed.
But you know what? It's Palom's seed. That makes sense, you know?
It would make more sense if we had elected to take that Forum earlier, but that's...
Well, we have Rosa on your team, bye!
Exactly.
We only have 4 character slots, bye!
Yeah.
I wonder if next season I should put Rosa, like restricted.
Tybalt gets the Luca key from completing the Zot.
That's useful.
Yeah. Now, Tybalt hasn't done Baron in yet, so I wonder if Tybalt, because once you complete Zot, you, of course, are parked right outside of Baron immediately afterwards. And, yeah. Tybalt is heading into Baron in right now.
That's such a good routing decision.
Yeah, so we're going to see, so again, we're going to see Tybalt get the Baron key, and we'll probably also immediately head into Baron after this.
Nice. I honestly, one of the best, one of the things you need to learn when you try to learn free enterprise at like a competitive level, one of the things that it's like you don't tend to think about is like routing decisions, because there is a number of checks that you can do sequentially, because geographically speaking they are very close to each other, and then there are a few other checks where the game just straight out like teleports you to places.
Yep.
And if you have that knowledge, you can let the game take you place to place and spend as little time as possible flying the Enterprise.
Yep. And of course there's, certain checks like the Baron check being one of them, since we're seeing it right now, but also places like Fagul or the end of Zot, which will fully heal your party, and those are effective to route in to avoid the need to spend a cabin or go out of your way to seek one of the healing pods, for example. That's also a consideration for running these things in. Okay, as we expect, Tybalt is heading directly into Baron Castle, electing not to check the shop.
Scythe Marshal, meanwhile, is just like Tybalt did, preparing to blow away these these CPU orbs with a well placed maximum bluff quake.
Yeah. Are we ready to see another round of 5,000 to 6,000 damage here? I certainly am. Always a good time.
Here we go. Oh,
7,075 on the defender.
7K.
I love it.
Nice.
Okay, that's in just a moment. Slide Marshal is going to have 3 objectives on the board. We still haven't seen the Darkness Crystal. We haven't seen either half of Forge yet, and we have the objectives that require all of the above still on the board. So what will Slide Marshal do from here?
I wonder if, like, T-Bolt keeps having that. I think T-Bolt's gonna straight up replace that Tela with the Fusoya the moment it shows up.
That seems likely. If Tela is good utility after completing Ordeals, Fu is even better utility. Yeah, you've got just generally more powerful spells. You've got a larger MP pool. That's not polite.
It's just like Mon Bomb getting 10 extra 10k HP, whatever it is, just like hurts.
Okay, so we see Side Marshal heading into Fabul now. Since of course Side Marshal hasn't done either of these checks yet. The rare HP ran out.
Nice!
You'll love to see it. Okay. People now heading into the Leviathan fight. We'll be roughly even with Side Marshal here in just a few moments, having done approximately the same checks.
Indeed. Yeah, and Sinakat pointed out in chat that Bluff is pretty much one of the best commands in the game, if not the best command, because it just increases Wisdom by 15 each time, and it's tax. And the only way to lose the bonus is to change weapons, because that, overrides the stat you using. But like, it's not like a buff to get. It's not a status effect. It's just overriding Palom's Wisdom stat. So even if he goes down when you revive him, or like you get hit with like a black hole from Ceramos or whatever, you're fine. He just still has maximum wisdom.
I'm now contemplating the case of Palom equipping an Avenger, maybe on extra sets, because you could probably keep the blood bonus through that. It would just be completely useless.
Yeah.
Alright, and we do see Tibble taking the Fu as expected. Side Marshal, meanwhile, having done the Fabul check and the Sheila 1 check, is now heading back underground, not immediately following up on that Earth Crystal. He's instead electing to turn in the Pan immediately.
I mean, the Pan is like 2 extra key items, so it's a statistically, nice check to do. Pretty good value.
Yeah, we do have Case Summon on here, so this will give us the 2 key item
It's
checks.
T-Bolt going. Yeah, T-Bolt is going to check the boss at Baron Basement.
Oh, this is an interesting play.
Yeah, I mean with Fusoya, I mean I don't think Fusoya is full power yet, but it's probably close. We'll see.
Somebody who gets the pink tail from the Pan Bonk.
No hook, but that's real nice to see.
Yeah. Because of course it's no adamants, of course, but that pink tail will turn into a nice item one way or the other.
Yeah, like a Stardust Rod, or maybe a Dragoon or White Spear. Oh boy, this spot punches real hard.
Ooh, that line in the Odin spot. That's not. Oof. I mean, apart from this not being the moon, this is not a boss you want to see here. It's real hard.
I mean, with blinks and casting spells with Palom and jumping with Kane,
Yeah,
it's
like
just okay.
Yeah, we're in a stable state with this fight now, as long as Rosa and Fu can keep up with those blight casts, and Palom can put up the damage. Fu can get some spells in as necessary. This might take a little bit, and as long as we don't start running an MP, which is mostly a concern on Fu's part, this should be quite doable.
Yeah, I mean, this shows like this party is pretty under-leveled for the level you're supposed to fight this boss in, but by great usage of strategy and using the spells correctly, and knowledge that online only counters the fight command, Tybalt is able to defeat this boss by getting a steady fight strategy going. But even then, with only 3 characters, it's a little sketchy at times.
Yeah, and while Tybalt tangles with the outline here, Side Marshal gets the Twin Harp from the Shiva 2 check, is electing not to follow up on that immediately either, and is back underground now.
I wondered, yeah, Scythe Marshal will absolutely check the harp, right? I mean, Scythe Marshal is the club captain of the music club, so...
Oh yes, so we'll be seeing that eventually, but Scythe Marshal is now back at Dwarf Castle, and we'll presumably be seeing the boss checks here in just a few moments, with Fu on hand with an adequately leveled Palom on hand. I was about to say Porum. That's okay. These bosses should not pose much of a threat.
Tybalt is a bit on the tightrope. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's not
this
great.
An unfortunate turn of events.
Fire 3, clutch Fire 3, Fire 3. Come on. No, too slow. Fire 3 takes up a whole week to cast.
Yeah, and so that's demissed in the first dwarf spot.
Ooh, bonus round.
Bonus round. We do get 2 key items out of this after all.
And a character, which, well, I don't know even if it's Edge, I don't know if he's going to. I mean,
Side Marshal has done enough grinding at this point that I don't think he's likely to take additional characters by now.
Yeah, but Edge even starts at like level 25, so he needs less EXP. But that Mura long is pretty nice. So I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Scythe Marshal also hasn't been to the tertiary. It doesn't have that Murasame or that longsword, and probably doesn't have any other good equipment for Edge at this point. So might not be inclined to take Edge even if he shows up right now.
That is fair. Yeah, true.
Of course, along similar lines, we haven't seen any real high-end swords for Cecil yet, if he happens to turn up here. And
Tybalt's going.
Cecil.
Oh, there's Cecil, our favorite paladin. Bye.
Cecil.
If we had found a holy sword, I think Scythe Marshal might be tempted to pick him up. But as it stands, no thanks.
If you were really committed to taking a Cecil right here, you'd probably be inclined to go to somewhere like FF Castle and look through the trap chest in order to find that holy sword you're looking for, but it doesn't seem like that's a priority right now.
Yeah, especially with those extra levels that Kane already has on his belt.
Yeah, like with the party we've got here, especially with Kane not having anything more than that Gungnir, which admittedly is a fairly effective weapon on its own, and something you could probably take to the Z fight. But with the party composition we've got right now, it's extremely likely you'd be seeing a flex strats at Zeromus anyway.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, Meteor. Ooh, interesting. I like that.
Swag.
999. Maybe that's what Tybalt needs to like change the tide.
Well, I mean, Fu only gets one cast of Meteor in normal circumstances. We'll see if that's enough to put this fight over the edge this time around.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Scythe Marshal is through the Dr. Luge fight. We'll be seeing what key item we get from Dwarf Castle in just a few moments. It was the Fire 3 that didn't happen last time.
Come on. I mean, with Kane being, each moment Kane is up in the air, he's not being hit. And meanwhile, Rosa keeps like churning out blanks for the party.
And
there it
goes
is.
Antlion.
Nice, great job from Tybalt. There's the hook.
There's the hook. We've got both tails. We're probably going to see them turned in right away.
Shoutouts to Scyther Marshall for healing the poison.
And that's the package from the Odin chat.
Something tells me that's where Edge is.
Well, we may see that turned in. Tybalt hasn't seen D-Mist yet, of course, so it might be... we'll probably at the very least see the character check. A lot of people aren't going to want to sit through that package, the rest of the package cutscenes, without a very good reason to do so. Alright, Side Marshal, of course, is now on his way over to turn in the tails.
I hope he gets a nice item. Both sides of Forge are still at large, by the way.
So it's the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, so it's the the Darkness Crystal. Wow, hiding until the last. Well, there's
half of Forge.
It was, yeah, and there's the Edge. That
another scoop of vanilla.
Is that Corey? Corey's burning out. It's burning down Mist.
There's the Holy Sword if we want to take Cecil.
Ooh, this is the bias. Cecil's gone.
With that adamant in hand, Side Marshal has also hit 10 key items for additional grinding purposes if necessary.
Nice. God, I bet Side Marshal's kind of like kicking himself a bit.
Yeah.
But dude, you can only make decisions with the information that you have in hand. Like, you can't see the future,
Yeah, and with those 10 key items in hand, Side Marshal is going to turn in some of the rest of these sirens, it looks like.
It seems that Tybalt thought about getting that Edge and then bailed.
Yeah.
Side Marshal is in grind mode. Like he chose early what his party was gonna be, and he was like, okay, good, sure thing.
Alright, Tybalt is in Dwarf Castle, has now found that D-Mist, so... Yeah, it doesn't, of course... now, of course, doesn't really need to worry about that package boss anymore.
I wonder if Tybalt is gonna grab that Cecil, because Tybalt has less EXP than Scythe had when he was in the spot.
It's certainly possible at this point.
I wonder. This D-Mist honestly is in a pretty scary spot, because the doll spot has some pretty decent. Oh, never mind. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Rosa has a heroin rogue. Never mind.
Yeah, this party is powerful enough that even for something like D-Mist, we don't really need to worry about it. And it's not as overwhelmingly powerful as Side Marshal's party is at this point right now, but still has more than enough damage output to be able to deal with his fight easily. It does not. Okay, here's.
Honestly, Luge here is such a bad spot for Luge. It's so like ugh.
There's Cecil. Why Cecil? Does not pick the Cecil. I mean, again, Tybalt hasn't seen that X-Cal from the Pinktail trend yet. Probably doesn't want to go out his way to hear another Holy Sword. If Tybalt does find that Pinktail, he might think differently. But for the moment, it doesn't seem to be high on his list of things that he wants to go out of his way for.
Honestly, like last season of Hero's Journey was a lot of, hey, I found Cecil, let me grab this toy sword and see it's done. And I kind of want the heroes to shine for the most part, if possible. So I'm kind of glad that both our feature racers you saw Cecil and were like, you know what, bye. So, shoutouts to Soy Vermilion and Boardface for adding the restricted flag, so I could put, Cecil in a spot where, he's less likely to be taken. And I'm so glad to see that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of combinations of flags where you can restrict Cecil and then he shows up late enough in the scene that it does not make sense to take him. It makes it a lot less likely of an instant take than you might find under some circumstances. And it looks like this is one of those cases where taking Cecil is not the immediate go decision that you'd find in many cases.
If you hadn't already found a crystal sword or even an Excalibur, that would tip the scales on Cecil's favor. But without that really strong holy sword or other piece of equipment, it's it's tough to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm just gonna go and grab that Cecil when he's level 1.
Yeah, like if you think you're going to be committed to taking Cecil at some point in the seed, a lot of the time people will just go to Evelyn Castle on these types of loot settings to try to pick up that holy sword. It's clearly not something which is occurred to either of our runners at this point, and it's probably completely unnecessary as it is.
It's interesting because this flag set by default makes it less likely that our racers will ever go to Evelyn Castle, because usually you go to Evelyn Castle when you need some equipment power to your fighters and the like. But Palom is real strong by the in the early game, so you rarely want to go to Evelyn Castle. This is Darkness.
Yeah.
There it is.
There's the Darkness Crystal from Demas.
Did you think Bahamut's pod has the Legend Sword or Top of Tower?
It's possible. I don't think I would go out of my way to check that spot unless I absolutely needed to, because it's so out of the way compared to everything else. With the possible exception of with the possible exception of something like Lukaki, or to a lesser extent Harp, of course.
Honestly, it's just Scythe Marshal has the levels, so he can take the gamble of hey, I am powerful. Also, this spot gives a lot of XP. Another player may be less likely to go this play, to go to Bahamut first and foremost instead of checking Harp or Top Tower. So it may be an interesting gamble to take.
Yeah, it's certainly a play, considering that the K7 spots are less likely to have things than the K-main spots are. It's not something that I think I would do unless it was absolutely necessary, but it's certainly possible.
I mean that's why it is a gamble,
Yeah. And Scythe
Marshal. Oh, he's heading down to Seal Cave. Yup.
Yeah, this it looks like he's going to Feymarch again.
Oh, right. Oh, man, I completely forgot that we have 2 shiny bosses down here to fight.
Yeah, we've got that mysterious blue robe, and we've got the hopefully completely free guards fight. So what I think we're going to see here is Side Marshal is probably going to take the guards fight first, because that's completely free. If that doesn't turn up the Legend Sword, we'll check to see who the other boss is. Side Marshal can take the Alt Gauntlet in this spot right now fairly easily, with the amount of power that he's got. Well, maybe not fairly easily, but it's certainly doable.
I mean, with 2 mages that can cast Quake, in quick succession, it's probably just fine, really.
Yeah. Okay, Side Marshal healing up, saving, and will in just a few moments be heading down into the boss spot. Tybalt, meanwhile, is just now turning in the Sheila 2 check.
I hope it's Water Hack, honestly, because it's gonna go.
Side Marshal's checking the blue robe first.
Makes sense.
Okay, that delay. This is the alt gauntlet.
Oh boy.
And it's hard to quake flying enemies, as it turns out.
Oh, that's right, huh? Oh, I completely forgot that alt gauntlet in this one.
However, we do have Rosa on hand here just to be able to shoot the flying enemies. That's perfectly fine too.
Oh, Scythe Marshall is floating his characters because Clappers do show up in these in one of these fights, and Clappers do cast Quake back at you, I believe.
Yeah, we've got an Arachne in this particular alt gauntlet. That's probably what the float setup is for.
Yeah, Arachne, not Clappers, sorry. Clappers do Thunder. Ooh, Tibble is going on ahead and checking Cave Magnus.
Uh-huh. The fabled harp track. I'm sure our restreamer is very happy to see this and hear this.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it'll be one of the 70 Xenogears songs.
Well, we'll hear in just a few minutes. There is the Conjured Arachne. This is why Side Marshal is floating his characters.
I know it's only 29 Xenocat. She knows I love talking messing with it. Yep, there's the Quake. That was just such a heads-up move from Side Marshal, like floating the whole party with Soya.
Yeah.
Just like wonderful job there. It just goes to show how much this randomizer rewards knowledge.
Of course, Tibble has entered the first of these Dark Elf fights with a relatively wooded party, so Fu can just cast Virus to spare us a little bit of a cutscene here.
Wonderful. That's so nice. Such a good job of Tibble to have the, go down to Self and then check the Sheila one and then do a detour to go here.
Yeah,
so you have
now,
low HP.
Yeah, but now it's time for DJ Spoony B's requisite performance of the day, so we'll be quiet and let you enjoy the tunes. Now, Evil Wall is not who you want to see in Cave Magnes when you've got a party of predominantly mages, because you saw even that Quake did 1 point of damage. Fortunately, Fu was on hand with Nuke to be able to pierce that. And gets, Tybalt gets just Crystal Armor for the lengthy check.
That's nice for the Coco shop, but that's not nice enough to warrant.
And Side Marshal gets the Legend Sword from that alt gauntlet fight, so made exactly the right decision there. Side Marshal is now in go mode.
Side Marshal can go Forge and fight the rumors with that pass. Wonderful.
Yeah. But Side Marshal is electing to take the very free guards fight at this point, presumably just for the experience.
Honestly, yeah, it's for the most part free XP. Why not?
Yeah, well, Side Marshal, of course, doesn't have those coffins, so this is slightly less free. But I mean, Fu can. Well, I mean, you've got Palom, you've got Quake here, but you could have Fu cast something like Stone here and instantly end the fight.
As long as you have enough wisdom to actually land the zone, should be fine. But even then, Quake should get rid of of the small soldiers, unlike the captain. Goodbye.
And didn't kind of approach points out. Palom has stone too under the circumstances, but the quake is enough to wipe out the lesser guards and get through that fight.
He just wanted to nuke Fusoya.
Yeah, the Avengers are nice.
What a good move! What a good move! What a good decision to not work to not exit right away. Because that Avenger is gonna make Kane into a really good party member for that Zermus fight. Just absolutely such a heads up play from Side Marshall. You know, you can do this fight real fast. Why not just do it? Maybe it'll be something good. Well, it was. Reflex Trust with an Avenger King with good strength gear. Come on.
I mean, I've had an Avenger Crystal Sword Cecil who just sat through a Z fight at some point. Well, to be fair, he got a couple of swings in while Reflex Strats is going on, but just because you've got a physical powerhouse doesn't necessarily mean it's the right move to let them do something during the Z fight. It usually is, to be fair, but I haven't always done that myself.
I mean, yeah, but I'm really excited. So, you know,
you have
that counts for something.
The Forge shop has
Zeus Gauntlets.
Yeah, Zeus Gauntlets are the most important thing in that shop. Goodbye, XCal.
I mean, Mora Summon is real nice too, but
we're not taking edge here.
Artemis is, I mean, do you want Rosa to heal or do you want Rosa to shoot? Oh wow, he's Side Marshal's going for it. Thibaut meanwhile is going on ahead and shaking Evelyn Cave. It seems that he was looking for that curse ring, I think. Yeah, but didn't find one, sadly.
Did Side Marshal just buy a second Artemis spell?
Huh. Quite that. Is he going to start the whole party up? No. Is he? Is he? Oh no, this might be agility manipulation, actually.
That would make sense.
Yeah, there we go. Agility manipulation to make Rosa, Fusoya, and Palom faster, or because Rosa can have the heroin mode that makes us faster. I think we'll see what Side Marshal is playing with this group.
I sense some mental number crunching going on here to figure out how the agility is going to work for this fight. Because Side Marshal is probably in a position where he can go immediately to the Z fight with the right setup.
Yeah, the hard part is that whole right setup thing. That's a hard thing. Oh, shout out to Thibaut for staying in the 5-star Fame-March Hotel, the most expensive in the game. Yeah, there's the Artemis. It was not 41 agility?
That was 41 agility.
Ooh, that's one too low. Oh, goodness. He didn't get the ninja hat from the treasury either.
Yeah.
With the ninja hat, it will have pushed him to 43, I think.
So, I mean, here's the thing. Side Marshal is in Troya right now. If he desperately needs that ninja hat, we might see a cheeky peek into the treasury just to see if we can turn up some more agility equipment here.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that's there, and I guess he could be searching for... No, because he already has the Avenger for King. There's no reason why Side Marshal will ever pick the treasury. It just makes no sense from like a saving time perspective, in my opinion. But that 41 is real scary. You do want 42 because that 42 is the magic number where Zeramus goes from relatively 2 to relatively 3, and your party is also at a good agility.
Well,
at 41,
we're still going into it. I don't.
Oh boy. I think I saw 41 in his.
I'm not sure if Palom is still 41 in agility at this point. I think we may have seen some re-equipping after that point.
Okay. I trust Side Marshal. He's real good at this game.
Well, we'll have to ask what the intent there was.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
well, is facing off with the dreadful gauntlet. You know, some good EXP. Well,
But yeah, anyway,
Palom
we're on
does
that point on Side Marshal's side where, of course, this is a randomizer that we're playing, and we can't exactly move Zeromus out of the final boss spot because that's this fight is so unique, so difficult. Well, not necessarily difficult, but it poses its own unique challenge that can't really go anywhere else. So we'd still like to randomize Zeromus in some way, and so Zeromus now has more than 550, I believe, possible appearances that can show up at the end of the scene. Which leads us to the question that we always have to ask once someone gets this far. And Alchemy, would you like to do the honors today?
Of course. Whose spot are we going to kick today? And my favorite question from community member Alisa, who is Zeromus playing as?
Is it cute? Does it have a hat? Is the hat cute? Etc.
We just kind of have like a melting pot of questions at this point that we just like mix and match. We make our own questions from the pool.
Yeah, I see we've certainly found the dark side of the moon today.
Huh. Well, we legally can play some Pink Floyd for you in this fight, so please imagine it in your head. Thank you very much. The MCA can't get you in your head as of now, I think. Fingers crossed. That's a really nice counter nuke, but you kind of wish it would have landed on King. So, considering that King is swinging that Avenger, we might see Fusoya and Friends strats here, where it's just going all out until the other characters go down, and then it's just like Fusoya reflecting counter nukes while flinging his own nukes. But I don't think Side Marshal has ethers. Unless I missed it.
With this setup right here, with King's Avenger swinging, like this is more of a straight hybrid strat where King will be putting a little bit of physical damage, and Palom and Fu will be tossing out nukes as necessary, and that's almost 9,000 damage from Palom.
Yeah, that nuke is real nice. Yeah, and like King buffering with the Avenger, it's honestly a really nice thing to have, so I'm not surprised that Side Marshal ended up going for hybrid strats with that Avenger the moment it showed up, because you have to do no inputs, never ever again.
Like, ultimately, I think this would take a little bit longer than pure reflex strats would under the circumstances, but it's certainly easier to pull off.
And honestly, like I always say, safety is a real strat. Like, there's nothing that will cost you more time than actually wiping the surface.
That's quite true.
And even then, like, really, yeah, again, under J spells, Ria takes so long to level up that you have to leverage, getting Ria to nuke is also time that, in theory, you're also taking from the Zeromus fight, that hybrid strats really don't need to get that many levels.
We did see an elixir come out on Side Marshal's side used on Fu, so that's the MP recall we're looking for in order to let Fu contesting those nukes. That Big Bang was not nerfed. Everyone managed to live, but Palom
Palom! HP ring out?
Yeah, I think this Tier 4 will go off in time to save Palom.
Yeah, I think so too, but it's gonna be real close. There it is, 93.
Yeah, it's close, but it's not extremely close.
Tybalt, meanwhile, is getting his lightning sword, and he's now in go mode. Will he also check the soldiers fight? Big question.
Yeah, that's a no.
Nope. Oh, he did first. Thank you, Fire Blizzard Outcracker with the Hawking side. I'm so glad.
The nukes are still rolling. We're probably long past the tipping point for Zeromus at this point, at which point Zeromus rebuilds his HP.
I believe he had a Big Bang was queued or was about to be queued, and thinking it was like completely escaped. Pretty much, it feels that way because Zeromus hasn't taken a turn in a while. Yeah, side tip. Yeah. Oh, with the direct nuke, so I didn't have a counter nuke. Interesting. Oof. Bad target. Ooh, that's a bad combo right
Yeah,
there.
we're going to see Palom die here. The end of Big Bang is, I mean, even in, ooh,
Yeah. I knew that Big Bang was nerfed because the counter nuke. Oh no, the
Starvale ran out.
the Starvale. Oh damn, that happened to me so many times. It's why I never do reflex strats. but it's happened to me so many times.
Most of the time when I'm doing reflex strats, I'm pushing enough damage that I never even see a black hole. But that may just be due to over preparation on my part.
Dude,
Ouch.
that was a life 2 coming from Rosa to get Palom at max HP. This is dangerous because with the Avenger, Kane can only swing that. He can't throw any life potions or anything like that. So if Palom goes down, that's it. It's just Kane YOLO.
Yeah, it's hope Kane can dodge enough meteors to bring it home, which is often a losing proposition. We do see all of our party members slowly coming back up here. I don't know that Rosa will be healed in time to be able to survive the next Big Bang, if they're otherwise.
I don't think we're seeing Fusoya get up at this. Oh, never mind. Life 2. Instead of healing Rosa, is he going for like a Hail Mary play where he just like goes all out with damage and tries to... Oh, that's why he was probably counting HP.
There's rocks. I think the next 2 nukes will be enough to end this fight. Maybe even the next nuke will end this fight.
And you're right, GG.
Yeah,
Side Marshall has finished the race in first place with a time of 1 hour 9 minutes 14 seconds. Nice work, Side Marshall.
Well, we'll see if we can get Side Marshall in here for an interview.
That was such a well played seed, like overall. It's like wonderfully played.
Yeah, that was a very tactical hybrid, right?
Yeah.
And
it got a little dicey at the one time, but he managed to pull through. It seems that we are gonna be joined by Scythe Marshall at any moment now. Meanwhile, Tybalt is doing his grind. I think it will be done shortly. Those HP levels are looking real nice. I like that Palom's just like taking a nap. Like, yeah, just wake me up when we're done.
We don't need how. Yeah, we are joined now by Side Marshall, our first place finisher tonight. GG's.
Thank you, GG's. Wow. Okay.
So, the big important question right away, we saw you commit to this party real early, as that's from the Kala that was swiftly replaced. One of the ways, like, someone could have played it is like hoping for those restricted characters, because they are really powerful. But you seem to commit to this party. Was that like your plan from the start, or it's just how the seat played out?
Well, I was looking at I looked at the objectives, and Ordeals and Baronin are free, and Raise the Whale. Well, you're going to get the Darkness Crystal at some point. Really, there wasn't a lot of gated character checks along the way, and so I said, you know what? I just want a team that has a little bit of power, can do some things. Palom's good, right?
Yeah,
Kid
Palom's
has
really
Quake,
good.
Kid gets Nuke. His only issue is agility, but nothing in Artemis Poe at the 40K.
Yeah. We saw you like 3 names with agility like at the end there. It was a joy to see.
Yeah. So about the party, I just said, you know what? I don't want to. So one thing that I tend to do in Hero's Journey, because Permajoin is on, is I play with 2-person parties for 40 minutes, right? And so I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that this time. I took the Kane because Kane's fast. Kane's a speedy boy, and I saw in I think the grab bag kit there was Gungnir, and I said, yes, perfect, great. Kane's good. He'll be fine. And so in the end, I said, okay, well, to Kane, this Tella, I don't want him, but I guess I'm stuck with him for now. And then I was okay with Rosa and Rydia, even though I knew J spells were on, because I'm just gonna throw sirens at everything. It'll be fine. And then I got Fusoya because I hadn't bought the Leviathan, and I said, you know what? Okay, Fu is better than Rydia. Last time I did, the last time I had this choice, I picked Rydia, and then she got Bahamut, but I wasn't gonna get Bahamut because I wasn't opening chests. And so I said, you know what? I need 2 new casters, and that's enough for Zeromus.
Yeah,
and so I had 2 new casters, and that was enough for Zeromus. Sort of. I don't think hybrid strats were actually the correct play here, but I did them anyway.
Yeah, what motivated you to pull out the hybrid strats here? We were speculating a little bit on that because with the party composition you had there, I would argue that reflect strats would probably be faster under the circumstances, even with the adventure in hand.
Yeah, Rosa didn't have white, right? She just had Cure 4.
Day spells, yeah.
I probably had enough firepower just to run 2 new casters. And I've done Zeromus strats with less, so hybrid probably was fine, but also Fu and Palom were both RA5. And so I probably could have cast fast, I guess. But Zeromus is RA4. So I don't know. I think it would have worked. I checked my the time. It was a 6.5 minute Zeromus fight, whereas well done hybrid strats would have been half that time. So I could have tried it, but it also could have gone south in a hurry, I think.
Yeah,
just because I wouldn't have Rosa probably would have had a decent enough agility to get people back up. I could have given her the RD bow and she would have had 50 agility. And so that would have been fine, but I wasn't confident.
Rosa with an Artemis bow or a Heron robe and
or both
at the same time. It's the Cure Force are so weak. It's so scary. It's so scary.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
So one of the other interesting things that we saw earlier on in your playthrough the seat, so you've just fought the All Gauntlet, you have your Legend Sword, you're in go mode. You elected immediately afterwards to take the guards fight immediately adjacent to it. What motivated that?
I had no nuke.
Well there it is.
That's a very simple reason. We did see you pick up nuke immediately after that, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so I didn't have nuke. Probably the more appropriate strat would have been make a pit stop at the Mist Cave boss, because I didn't fight it, but I didn't remember who that boss was.
Honestly,
if I remember correctly.
It might have been faster to fight the guards in the end. But
I didn't care, and it was extra XP.
Yeah, honestly, it's right there, and they're free, so whatever, Like Mist Cave, you have to fly up to it and then do a little cutscene, get out of the cave.
Yeah.
It's pretty much these guys are right here. They're just waiting for you.
And they're basically free at this with this party at these levels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, quick procedural question. Do you did Tybalt check music?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It was a crystal armor.
There's no need for me to check music while he's going into the Zoro.
Our viewers have heard it already, so you don't need to go out of your way unless you really want to.
Nah, I'll check it.
It was one, I believe, from Earthbound.
Correct.
Hmm.
How do you say that? Is it wanted? Wanted sounds so weird.
Oh, I've always called it
one.
on it, but that's because I haven't studied the Earthbound lore to realize, oh wait, they're all just named after numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
But wanted, it feels like you should put a W there somewhere in the name with wanted. But no.
Blame English.
Yeah, English. Hello, my name is English. I have 42 phonemes. Hello. Anyways, GG, Slight Marshall. We saw you complete the main objective by absolutely obliterating CPU with the most satisfying plague in the history of Enterprise.
That was pretty good, and I knew it was fun doing the grind first, or like half a
Yeah.
grind. Because with Charm Rod, Rune Ring, and the grind, I said, aha, I only have to bluff 3 times.
That's true.
Optimizing to the limit.
Yeah, that Quake did a
Just-
lot of
just, you
damage.
know-
I've never seen 7k, ever.
CPU is such a bot. It takes so long. You can't cast spells on CPU. And Quake is such a bad idea usually because
I
of
mean-
99. It's just so nice to see those big
Yeah.
numbers pop up. Like, haha,
Yeah.
got you this time,
Yeah,
CPU.
You can
Yeah, no
always
flip
cast Quake
required.
on CPU. You just usually don't want to, so it's very therapeutic when you can get away with it like this.
So I saw you do that on stream, so I'll be checking with you soon to check the next character.
Ooh, right,
Shush.
yes. That's exciting. I think I know. Who I'm picking, but we'll see.
Nice. So GG's Side Marshal again, and thanks a lot for coming here to raise. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks to the Restream crew. I think it was Esgrunt and Alchemy on comms. Alchemy, thank you for rolling this seed. It got it right this time.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Xenocat
thank
on
you.
Restream, not rolling the seed. And Fiery Blizzard for tracking. You folks do a great job, and we'll see you next time. Take care, folks.
GG's.
See ya.
Alright, and during that, Tibble has completed his grind and is in the Zeromus fight, and if I'm not mistaken, is doing pure reflex strats here.
That kind of makes sense. Like having Kane as a chemist, just making sure that everything just goes alright and nothing, goes off, flights off the handle, and also using him as a reflex target in case there is some problem with the ATB and the Starbell wears off or whatever. It's okay if Kane goes down. He's like not essential to the fight.
It's Kane's turn to be betrayed every now and again.
It is penance.
Yes.
But he gets it. He understands.
Yes, indeed. Alright, the news you see, Tibble's Rosa does have white, so we're able.
Yeah.
We've got 3 heavy magic casters here in this fight, which makes the reflex strats a lot more viable.
I think this will be over pretty soon. Like
Yeah,
this,
one or
these
2 more
spells
spells
are
is
so
going to be
fast.
sufficient to end this fight.
Mhm.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this is it right here. There it is. Tibble has finished the race in 3rd place with a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 16 seconds, which is behind Wylem, who finished at 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 19 seconds. GG's to the both of them.
GG's.
So,
What a-
let's see.
What
Let's
a
see.
nice seed. Usually I do say like, hey, I hope this seed is a kind one, because I've rolled some clunkers in the past. So I'm always like, hey, I hope this one's nice. Well, it was. So it's always wonderful to see.
Anyway, we'll see if we can get Tybalt in here for an interview.
Indeed. Oh, I wonder what the cursing was.
Well, I'm sure it was out there somewhere.
Yeah, in some. I checked with Wylem, which was also racing. It was in Mystidia. Wow.
Ah.
If you check Mystidia armor shop, there's a curse ring waiting for you. By
I
the way.
I very often make that check if I'm in there to launch the LNA. But anyway, we are joined by Tybalt, who is our 3rd place finisher today. GG's.
GG's.
So, I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked, like, Marshall. You seem committed to your party pretty early, for the most part. Were you, like, and you even said goodbye to Cecil? Did you, like, what was the driving factor for you sticking with this party instead of, sticking out other restricted characters more intensely?
I mean, with the early game party available, okay, 2 Sids, you got Yami, you restrict Cecil and Edge. To go through the package just to get the Edge, I thought about it, and it was like, no, that's gonna take way too long. There's a possible chance of demist, and I'll if I don't see Demas soon, I'll check the package, and then of course the next check I make is Dwarfin. Hey, there's Demas.
Yeah.
I mean, even setting aside the package timing, what about the Cecil that turned up in Dwarf?
Yeah, the Cecil. I'm like, well, I don't really have anything for him. But do I really want to go to like Evelyn to try and spike a shiny stick? At this point, it's fine. Not realizing how long it takes Rosa to get white with J spells.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, getting Holy Sword is as simple as turning the pink tail, but you may not have known that.
Yeah, it was Excalibur, but you know, whatever, right?
I turned in the Excalibur after I ditched the Cecil.
Yeah, and this
at
is
that point.
Levi, so
I didn't have hook yet. I got the hook right after.
Yep.
yeah, fair. Oh yeah, you're right. The hook is after Cecil. I didn't even notice that. Oh,
I mean,
whoops.
the chances you're going to have found one of those Holy Swords before Cecil turns up are fairly low, unless you went out of your way to go to Dwarf Castle, and I don't think anyone actually did that.
There's no real
yeah.
reason to go there because you got Magma Key from the start. The first thing I did was look for sirens and buy a couple, do some for flavor, get Quake on Palom, and that opens up the early game for you.
So that was the point. So your intent in that early grind then was just to get Palom to Quake and demolish the early game, I take it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Did a couple extra bluffs in the crystal room.
The other thing that's on my mind from your play is so about that antlion and
Oh yeah.
That antlion. He had it out for me. Like I knew I could get through the spot. I had the power to do it. I just needed to start off doing Meteo. I was hoping for Nuke on Fu, but Meteo just does just as well.
yeah, well, we certainly saw that.
Honestly, I didn't even think about Meteo. It was like I saw Soya cast Meteo. I was like, that's such a good idea. I never
you just
ever
gotta get some
thought about
blinks,
Meteo.
but you gotta get your blinks up first because he hits hard.
She sure does. It's all he does. He just punches you.
Yeah, and counters you if you happen to hit it yourself. But with that party, we're not going to be seeing much of that.
So, what did you think about like the agility situation with Palom? How did you figure that one out?
Oh, I
Because
felt
you went
perfectly
reflex
fine.
rats, and that was like reflex rats with the Palom anchor is kind of scary.
I got him right to 28. The thing with the mages is when you get them to their nuke or their white, they're generally around 25, 26. So you can just easily stick a ninja hat or a crystal ring on them to get them above 28 to make their almost RA2, which makes reflex strats a lot easier.
Ah, I see.
And stuck the ninja hat on Palom, perfect 28.
Of course, that requires you to have found a ninja hat to begin with. Not everyone went out of their way to go into the treasury and pick one of those up, for example. But it certainly works if you got it handy.
I had Earth Crystal in like 20 minutes. I'm gonna go do the treasury.
Of course.
Yeah. Marshall did some finagling with Artemis bows to get to like 40 something agility for Sermo Secret. It's very funny.
Yeah.
That is also an option.
Very much so. How'd y'all like the poison walk through most of the...
I didn't hear it because I'm in the booth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's something I think we're going to need to have chat answer for us if you want a proper answer for that.
John,
Little poison
just
walk
telling
here,
you.
little poison walk there. Oh, Twin Harps, nothing. Reset out. Oh, I still have poison walk.
You better sleep with an eye open tonight. Some people don't like those. Just saying.
Wow.
You stick
I'm
the
joking.
legend sword behind the alt gauntlet.
Come on, it was funny.
Oh, that's the reason I
was
picked up the
funny.
hourglasses. I was like, I was checking some shops for some sword robes. I'm like, I'm gonna check the Elblin shop just in case there's hourglasses there. I'll pick up some just in case it's the alt gauntlet sitting there at the Fame Arch.
Lo and behold. It's the elk cutlet sitting there in Feymarch.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So I know Scythe Marshall did manage to win this time, but is there a character you would have liked to see for next week?
I'm trying to think if there is any others that I would like to see. I can't remember who's all
we have
left in the
Rosa,
list.
we have Cecil, like Tella,
Oh, there we go,
Edward. There's a
Tella.
bunch.
There we go. Let's just go. Let's go super hard. Let's just go Tella.
Tella's not hard. Come on, it's fine.
Let's just go with Tella. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Okay. It will be very. Let's see what side Marshall chooses, but Tella's a lot of fun. So, any last thoughts on the flag set table?
No, it was
Or the seed.
well, the seed's got some other ideas. Vanilla pan,
We
Val.
saw a lot of vanilla this seed, actually.
Yeah, not to mention the vanilla, but also seeing Val at Ordeals 1, seeing the Magus sisters on Hobbs again with an Edward. Like
Well,
some of this looks familiar to a seed I just ran.
I mean, at least with that Val that early, you're going to be getting away with reflex strats in the end if you want to go that route.
Oh yeah, and you also have early Kane. Like it didn't matter where Val was going to be.
Yeah.
It just, like I was mentioning earlier, usually I do say, like, I hope it's kind seed, and this time it was. You know what? That's nice.
No.
So,
Thanks.
thanks a lot, Table, for coming here and hanging out. I appreciate it a lot.
No problem. Thanks for at least putting this, this club together. As I always say, this is one of my favorite clubs to do. I've enjoyed it since season 1. I'm enjoying season 2. I'm hoping for a season 3.
I hope, touch on wood and all that, and I hope no pressure for the devs, but I would love to have a 5.0 for me to play with. A lot of toys to do new flexed and remix old ones. I'm hoping, but if not, well, I do have some ideas brewing already, so we'll see.
Yeah, I would thoroughly enjoy season 3 of this.
So, GG's, Tybalt, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, have a good one.
Alright, that was our third place finisher in today's race, Tybalt. And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast, but that is not all for Free Enterprise. Of course, we'll have more restreams coming up this week. At the very least, the community races on Monday and Friday. If you're not already on the Discord, to keep an eye on any races that'll be coming up or further news about that, be sure to join in today. Also want to give a thanks to the rest of our Restream crew today, Xenicat on the Restream, Fire Lizard for pushing the buttons today, and Alchemy as my co-commentator. And as for today specifically, in just a few moments, we will be heading over to PK4787, who is running an async race based on the Red Moon flags for the upcoming tournament. That async is CCNMFJ, so if that is something you're planning on running yourself, you may not want to come with us. Otherwise, feel free to come along. Do not spoil this race, or you get bonked. So thank you everyone for watching today, and we will see you next time.
See ya, everyone.